Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of B is for Build. In today's episode, man, we got a lot of stuff going on. So we are going full steam ahead on trying to make this thing a roller. That is our goal, to get as quickly as we can, get all of the rear customization suspension components welded up, because if you remember they were just tack welded before. Gonna get all those things welded up. We have wheels and tires are in, our shocks are in, they need to go into the car. We need to get the wheels on the tires. So we got a lot of stuff going on, but we got wheels, tires, shocks, and we are trying to set a goal to get all of the welding of the suspension done so it's all like officially connected to the chassis and it's never coming off again. Stay tuned. In the background of some of the downtime, Oscar's been welding out a lot of our control arms. So this is a finished welded out control arm. He's actually welded out all of the stuff for the front, and right now he's even working on finishing up the back. So what's left is, you can see like this piece is flexi, and these pieces. So we wanted to tack weld everything in it first, make sure it all lines up, figure out exactly where it needs to go. You can see that we made sighting holes and stuff like that. And now that we're confident, we know it all works together and we know it's all happy, it's time to take it back off the car, fully weld it out, and then we put it on the car, throw the bolts through the chassis rails, and then we actually box in the back side of it too, and then these things never ever come off again. So Oscar and I are going to be doing a lot of welding. We've got two welders set up, one here and one way back there, and he'll be welding there, I'm gonna be welding there, and we're just gonna start taking pieces off, welding them up, throwing them back on the car. I'll update you when we got a lot of this stuff kind of together. Alright guys, it's the next day. Oscar and I, all we did yesterday was weld all day long. We did more welding in one day than we probably usually do on an entire build, which is kind of crazy. Let me show you some of the stuff that we got wrapped up. Oscar is working on things like the knuckles and the control arms and the different things that connect our suspension. They have a lot of internal pieces and stuff like that, so those all got wrapped up. I was on the front working on more of the structural pieces, like this guy right here and this one right here. This still needs to be welded out. I'll take that with me. So the game plan now is to start placing these pieces exactly where they go, exactly where they're all happy. We have to figure out, our parts all came in from the machine shop, so we have all of our bushings that we need. Those get installed and welded in once we have them installed. And then there's the holes to drill into the frame rails, and we bolt those on, and then once we have that done, we can weld. If there's any like metal that goes on the back side or the underside, those can be welded on as well. So that's the next thing that we're gonna go ahead and jump into on this front end, while Oscar continues to weld out these style of pieces for the back end. We got all the front parts mocked up on here, and we realized we almost missed a step, which is the painting step. So galvanic corrosion is a thing that can happen. It's never happened on any of our builds. We don't really have any issues with it, but it's something we want to protect from. So we're just going to use 2 coats of paint. So there's going to be a coat of paint on the base of the chassis, and then a coat of paint on the underside of these parts. So we're actually going to pull these off. You'll see us paint the rails, and then we'll get them back on there. And then once they're on there, we're going to start drilling out our holes. Like you can see where the holes are marked out there. We're going to drill those holes and start shoving some bolts through. Once they're all firmly attached, then we can start welding them to each other. We got a coat of paint on here, and we got a little bit ahead of ourselves. There's some modifications need to be made. You can see that that bolt hole doesn't quite line up, so we're gonna go ahead and plasma that out so it'll sit better. And we had a little bit of a discussion about the reality of galvanic corrosion. Like I said on the last clip, it's not something we've had a lot of problems with, but this vehicle is gonna be in much different environments and circumstances than other vehicles we've built. So for instance, sand has a lot of salt in it. Salt plus water will really accelerate that process. So paint is not really going to be enough. We've decided that we're going to use gasket material. Gasket material that you would buy to build your own manifold gaskets, or different gaskets like that. It's pretty thick, it's really durable, it'll last, and that's going to go between our steel piece and our aluminum piece. Now, to do that, we're going to need a ton of it. So how about you'll go to the automotive store that has the green lettering with the Irish name. None of these guys sponsor us, so you can go to the one with the orange lettering, that's the Zone, and I'll go to the one with the blue lettering with 4 letters where they hire only senior citizens to work there. We'll go get all of the gasket maker we can, and then we'll make some modifications to these things, and we should be ready to start bolting up the front end for real. Well, let's hope no one around the area needs to make any gaskets today, because we bought them all from all the stores. So that's plenty to do this vehicle. We will put gasketing in between every steel part and aluminum part as we bolt these things up. I went ahead and plasma cut that thingy and did that other thing and welded that thing back there, so we're ready to go. It is time to put gasketing behind these things, put them on, bolt them on. Should be the last time they come off this vehicle, unless we break one. Alright guys, things have been moving really fast, so I want to give you guys a status update. For the first time, pieces have been like welded onto the car. They are not coming off, which is a really cool moment. So in the front here, we have the bolts shot through the lower frame rail. This is bolted on. This is now welded to this piece, and I've got this stuff tacked in. I got to fully weld that out. The upper piece is coming next. Kyle's working on the bottom side over there, getting that all bolted up as well. And then we're gonna jump into both the upper pieces at the same time. Back here, we haven't updated you guys for a while. Oscar kind of got away from us here. So he's got our trailing arm mount installed, fully welded into this piece right here, which is fully welded into this piece up here, and then it's connected up there as well. We welded that wraparound piece in as well. So this is all one unit at this point, not coming off. We got all the bolts, all the bushings, all the machine parts in there. So that's looking really good.
All the gasket material behind everything?
Oh yeah, gasket material behind everything as well. Oscar, what's next for this side? There's nothing left?
I'm just going to bolt up all the arms and make sure everything fits, and then I'm moving on to the next side.
Okay, yeah. So we're getting pretty close to wrapping up both the passenger side, front and rear, and then we're going to switch over to the driver's side. Alright guys, it's a new day. We got a ton of stuff done last night, so the front and rear of the passenger side is wrapped up now. The front of the driver's side is very, very close, and Oscar is going to continue working on the rear of the driver's side, but today is wheels and tires day. So let me show you what we got going on out front. We called out the Go Mobile Tire Service out here, so guys, check them out. Here's all their information. See if there's one local to you. They're getting our wheels and tires put together and balanced. We're almost wrapped up. We're popping the bead onto the last one. So we're running 6. We have 2 spares and then obviously 4 for the vehicle. 37s in the rear, 35s in the front. Nitto Trail Grapplers for the tire. Konig Hypergrams for the wheels. I'll tell you all about them. Let's get them over to the shop. Now that we got the tires on the wheels and got them inside, I want to show you guys what we're dealing with. So wrapped on the outside, the tire is a Nitto Trail Grappler. And like I said, it's a 37 for the rear, 35 for the front. Nitto sponsored us with these tires, so huge shout out to them. Thanks to them for that. And we will have a link in the description. You guys know Nitto Tires has sponsored us for a long time, and they make a really, really good quality tire. I've ran these on my Raptor for a very, very long time, and I have no complaints whatsoever. The wheels is where this gets a little bit more interesting. This is a 5-lug. This is a Konig Hypergram, so this is like a street car wheel. Very, very good, very high quality flow formed wheel. The weight and load bearing on these wheels is completely adequate for this build and everything that we're going to do with it. But I will say that a lot of our competitors that we're running up against in these races are going to be running bead locks. People run bead locks so you can run low air pressure in your tire, and that's normally for rock crawling stuff you see in Ultra 4. And I don't know if it just crossed over or if a lot of these guys that we're going to race against also do Ultra 4 stuff. I'm not really sure why it seems like everybody runs bead locks, but these shouldn't be a problem without a bead lock, and we're going to test that very, very thoroughly, but I think we're going to be good. So shout out to Konig. I mean, a lot of the reason that we have this is for twofold. One is the brake package I wanted to run is off of a Mustang GT500, and that's what we have, and that brings us to the lug pattern that is this. And the other is that we've been partnered with Konig for so many years. Whenever I find a build that it's like we can run Konigs on here and it'll look good and it'll work great, I love to support the company. I love to work with them. They make fantastic quality wheels, and they're one of our very first sponsors. So just figured, let's do it. So we've got these here. We got to do a little bit more welding on both of these sides. So Oscar and I are going to jump into this welding, get everything done as far as the suspension connection to the frame of the chassis, and then we can start working on the hubs for these. Oscar wrapped up welding all of the mounts, let's say the mounting plates together. So just like on the other side, this is a full wraparound rail. Connects to that, which dives down, connects to that, comes through here, and this all connects up to itself and accepts all of our control arms. So this is a really huge milestone for us because this is now on both the fronts and both the rears. All of the suspension pickup points are firmly attached to the vehicle, never planning on coming back off. Like, this is it. We got the gasketing behind them, did everything right as far as we know. So that's it. There are some bolts to shoot through some of these frame rail pieces, but we don't have those bolts right now, so we're going to do that in the next episode. But this is a huge moment because it's all on here finally. So now we get to move over to the hubs. So these guys right here are our hubs, or our knuckle, whatever you want to call it. And you gotta, to make this into a wheel, you gotta add a wheel bearing. So the design calls for a kind of a wheel bearing holder that has to be welded on right here. Once that gets welded on, the wheel bearing slots right into that. So this is an example of a wheel bearing. So bolts come through from the back, bolts into right here on the wheel bearing, and this is a Mustang GT wheel bearing that then has our lugs and stuff like that. From there you go onto the rotor, and then the caliper gets added on here and all that good stuff. So what we got to do now is get these are about like 1/8 of an inch flanges welded onto here perfectly, and then we get the wheel bearing bolted onto that, and then we throw them onto the vehicle at the end of our control arm, like what you see here. Oscar got the hubs all welded up, or the flange for the wheel bearing. So over here is what it looks like when it's all kind of together. And then we did a test fit with our, this is the front package, so that's a GT500 brake caliper in there. It's an extremely tight fit, but it does work. So that's really cool. The only reason we're not welding up the caliper bracket and the caliper right now is because we don't have the brake pads, and we need the brake pads to perfectly align the caliper on the rotor before we weld this flange in here. So we're waiting on those brake pads. Once they come in, we'll get that done, but this is really cool. I'm really glad that this fits. It's basically the smallest wheel with the biggest package, that biggest brake caliper package that we could have possibly ran. So that's awesome. Now we're going to go ahead and get all of these knuckles onto the vehicle, and then with the wheel bearings in them and the rotors, and throw the wheels and tires on the vehicle. This is going to be really cool to see for the first time. Dang, we built ourselves a Hot Wheels car. This is insane, man. This is so cool. So wheels are on, rotors are on, everything is actually bolted up for the first time. Oscar, go ahead and grab a tape. Let's run a tape across the back and figure out what our actual wheelbase is. It's gonna be a lot.
Just under 100.
Just under 100, wow. That is pretty great. I think technically we can get this thing street legal. I think it might be that like commercial, or not commercial, non-commercial vehicles have to be like maybe 92, 93, I think, but I know buses can be up to 102, so it probably depends on the state or whatever, but we might be able to get this thing street legal. That would be really cool. You could see how wide it is when you look from this angle. I mean, that's just absolute insanity. So I'm excited to design some body stuff that's gonna kind of come out and fill in that gap, but dang. She's wide. So how many inches are we gonna have on the garage door? 109. We got 109? Cool. Plenty of room to pull her out. This is so awesome. What a milestone, guys. We got all the suspension bolted up, welded up, and the wheels on. It does look really cool. We don't have the shocks in there yet, so we don't know what the ride height's gonna be. That will be done in the next episode, and then we'll actually know our ride height. I'm gonna just throw out a guess right now that we're pretty close right now, but I think the front is a little higher than the rear right now. Huge shout out to Konig Wheels and Nitto Tires for the sponsorship on this build. There's gonna be links in the description, and we appreciate those companies so much hooking us up. This is awesome. So happy. All right, guys, that is a wrap. In the next episode, we will get the shocks and all of the suspension components. Like, so see these ones in the front? We'll get all these built out, all of them connected, get the shocks in there. We'll see our ride height, and we will have a rolling chassis in the next episode. So make sure to tune in for that. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.